Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Off the Dirt with Allie and Joe, presented by M&M Septic Services. This is a production of the American All-Star Series, and as always, I'm joined with the CEO of the American All-Star Series, Joe Rush. Joe, how are you tonight?
I'm great. And talk about M&M Septic Service. We'll really talk about him in segment 2, but he made the race a little bit exciting on Saturday. It seems like we've lost Allie right out from the get-go tonight. So as we wait on Allie to come back, we'll go ahead and talk about the fact that you can check us out on the website, crateracing.com. We're on Facebook. You can just search for American All-Star Series. The original tag is American Crate All-Star Series. Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all available for the American All-Star Series. And, of course, crateracing.com for all of your up-to-date information and needs. So hopefully Allie's situation will get resolved, and she'll be back on with us here momentarily. I'm assuming everybody can hear me and that everything's working. Let me know if it's not. Yeah, that's right, Hayden. We need to call Bob up. You're exactly right. So looks like she's resetting maybe and getting back in here with us. So we'll have Allie back with us here momentarily. But as we get ready to rock and roll into tonight's show, again, I do want to remind you to check us out on all our social media platforms and the web. You can get all your official Off the Dirt merch. Let us know if you want any Off the Dirt merch. Of course, we've got our polos. You can get hats, T-shirts from our buddy Jamie Wilson at Landstone Designs. So Landstone Designs does a great job with the Off the Dirt merch, and check him out if you get the opportunity or you need any shirts or embroidered stuff, especially. I love the embroidery work that Jamie does there at Landstone. Well, as always, segment 1 is brought to you by Firefly Token. Firefly Token is a unique high burn token that rewards long-term holders. With a team of dedicated developers and an engaged community, it's also a token that you can feel good about investing in. Each transfer or sale for the Firefly Token incurs a 15% burn rate, 5 of which goes directly to a charitable cause. And for us at Firefly, the primary cause supported is fireflies. The conservation of fireflies. The global population is approaching extinction level, and we hope to reverse that trend with the Firefly Token. So make sure that you get to check that out. Appreciate the kind words, John. We're going to have our guest on here in just a minute for tonight's episode 24, Golden Locks. He'll be with us momentarily. He's down there waiting in the chat feature. So Allie, welcome back. I've covered us all the way up to Racetrack Connection, which is a growing app.
Sorry, my laptop, my iPad is really crashing. We're struggling.
Yeah. So Racetrack Connection, talk a little bit about Racetrack Connection. Sherman's doing a great job. He's really building the app up.
Yes, he is. He has a tent now. Sherman is really wanting this app to take off. It's the social media for all of racing and is practically Facebook for racing. You can do all sorts of stuff. As always, we'll talk more about it throughout the show. But Joe, what do you think about Racetrack Connection?
I love Racetrack Connection. It's such a great app. It offers so many great opportunities for those to get involved and to interact more with the drivers, and drivers to interact more with the fans. So that's one of the many great functions. You can take pictures, share those pictures. Maybe even you get a great shot of the driver doing something awesome on the track, and you share that picture in the chat. And the driver's then able to go grab the picture and save it. So a lot of great things, a lot of great options and features that come along with Racetrack Connection.
For sure. And like I said, as always, we'll talk more about all the features that Racetrack Connection has during the show, always during segment 1 and segment 3, or segment 2 and segment 3. So without further ado, you want to move on to our special guest?
That's right. And it's good to have, as we do that, good to have Trevor Thompson here with us. He had a show this weekend as well. Hope it went well for you, Trevor. All right, let's bring in tonight's guest, though. Tonight's guest, the titled episode is Golden Locks. I'm not sure if he actually goes by that nickname or if Walter just calls him that, but we'll talk to Zach and find out.
Yeah, so welcome in Zach Sise, winner of the Lake Cumberland North-South race at Lake Cumberland Speedway.
How y'all doing tonight?
Good, Zach. How are you?
Hanging in there.
Well, Saturday night was a good one for you. You told me all year long if you could just qualify, you knew you'd had a shot to win. and you finally got that good qualifying run in.
Yeah, most definitely. We struggled qualifying all year long, and we've past few weeks we finally been able to qualify pretty good. So put us up front, and like I said, we won the week before at I-75, and then won at Lake Cumberland. So I feel like we're starting to get somewhere again.
Certainly. Well, your crew and you put in so much work for your car, and especially like you and your brother, you work together a lot. So, how much does that mean to like you and your crew, and also your brother, even though he didn't? Also, obviously, you can't have two winners on Saturday.
Yeah, for sure. We've both put our heads together, and we've really been really trying some things the past few weeks. I don't think we've showed up to the racetrack the same till probably the past 2 weeks. So, like I said, we've really been working hard and a lot of late nights in the garage trying to find some speed.
It definitely showed this weekend, and it all started. You got a really good start, side-by-side battle with Brandon Miller, I think, for about the first lap, and you just pulled away. So talk about that initial, the second try at the initial start, and how you got the lead to start the race.
Yeah, I got him the first restart, and then we had a caution, and I'm like, God, it's going to be hard to get him again because it got slick, and there really wasn't much of a cushion like there was the first time we went to grab a hold of around the top. So I was kind of worried the second time on trying to get him again on the top, but I got it done on the top again, and then finally kind of just moved down to the middle and tried to just ride and save my right rear tire because after the fast car dash, it was scalding hard.
One thing I was going to ask was about the track. So we saw that Brandon, he qualified on the pole with like a 14.8 or something like that. And you all were turning laps in the 15s in the race. So how much of the track slowing down affected the race?
Yeah, it slowed down a lot. Definitely from like the first time we were there. It was fast the first time, and I think I was one of the only few around the wall the first time trying to make some ground up, and we were pretty good then, but not really good enough. And it was totally different this week, but it was reminded me a lot of how 411 used to be, and so I kind of just went on by what I know there and tried some stuff in the race, and it seemed to work out.
That's for sure. So we had a long green last time. It's kind of caution field. We had a lot of cautions. This time the race had a very long green flag run, and honestly, and I realized that Rocky didn't tear anything up. We probably could have stayed green when he wall rode, which I know you didn't see that. It happened right behind you, but talk about lap traffic and how that played a factor there in that 25 lap start to the race.
Yeah, we were, like I said, I kind of, when I got out front there, I just tried to keep a steady pace, and consistent laps to me are, if you can run 30 consistent laps, you'll be better in the long run than if you can run 5 good ones and 25 not so good ones. So I just tried to hit every lap pretty close to the same and just tried to keep a constant speed. And when I got to the lap cars, I was running the middle before then, and when I got to them, they started throwing crumbs up, and it kind of messed my entry up. So I kind of had to back my corner up and roll the bottom more, and it slowed me down a little, but we was able to pick a few off, and sometimes the cautions came at the right time. And then I really didn't want to see that caution with 3 to go, and I about let it slip away. I tried to be too cautious. I seen under the caution the 11 was second, so I tried to be cautious and stay on the bottom coming off the corner. Didn't want him to get a run on me, and then about let AJ get by me.
That's what I was going to ask you was, the lap cars were certainly coming into play towards like the middle of the race, especially when we had the first caution on lap 25. But then once we started to get to lap traffic at the end of the race and then that last caution. So what's going through your head as a leader with the back of the field or the second place man coming up close to you?
Yeah, like I said, I just tried to be consistent. Lap traffic can sometimes be easy to get by, and sometimes it's pain in the butt. And it's kind of a little more difficult there. It kind of slowed my pace down a lot, and I just tried to be smart and see how big of a gap I had behind me. That way I could try to pass them harder or be a little cautious passing them, because sometimes you never know where they're going to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes they don't hold their line like they're supposed to. You're for sure right. So, let's talk about that last restart. because it was exciting. The whole race was exciting because guys did close in on you in lap traffic, and you just managed to hold the lead. But on that last restart, you almost let AJ get by you. So what you basically had to change your line both those last 2 laps to hold him off. So and he ran you very clean as well. So talk a little bit about that last run to the checker there.
Yeah, for sure. I gotta thank him first of all for running me clean. But we went green there, and I knew the 11 was second, and I knew he was a local guy, so I knew he could get around that place. And I came back around the next time, and I seen the 64, which I knew was AJ, was second on the leaderboard. And I'm like, oh crap! So my dad was hanging over the fence trying to get me to go to the top, and then Riley was in the infield trying to get me to go to the top. But I knew I had my line pretty good on the bottom figured out, so I just drove pretty hard them last 2 laps and just tried to hit my line and stayed up front.
Yeah, he almost crossed you over there coming to turn 3 that last lap coming to the checker.
Yeah, for sure. He probably could have been a little dirty and pushed me on out of the way and probably won. Like I said, I appreciate him racing me clean.
Yeah. We were up there watching in the tower, and he was coming into turn 3. We're like, well, he could have him right here, but he raced you really clean in that last turn. But he was pretty close to you when you came to the checker too. So it was really interesting how y'all made such a great show out of it.
Yeah, for sure. It was a totally different racetrack from the last time, but like I said, it was more like how 411 used to be. So I felt pretty confident about it in the race.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a track you cut your teeth on, so I'm sure that made you feel pretty good going into the night when you saw the track was that way.
Yeah, for sure, most definitely.
All right, Zach. Well, we appreciate you hanging out with us tonight. Before I let you go, as always, I want to give you time to thank your sponsors and the people that help you get up and down the road for sure.
First of all, I want to thank my mom and dad, and then my Uncle Freddie. We just got done washing the car. He comes out up throughout the week and helps me all the time, so I can't thank him enough. And then my girlfriend for all the help, and then my brother. He ain't here right now. He's out running the roads doing whatever. But and then got to thank Riley, and then just all my sponsors: Jack Frost Heating and Air, Pro Team Auction, Shorty's Motorsports, Super Dave's Paint and Body, MK Equipment, Chase King with Stinger Race Cars. I mean, he's been helping me some too the past few weeks, and we've both put our heads together and tried to get both of us faster. And I think we've both got a little better and learned some stuff. So can't thank him enough. And then Great Engine Technology, Randall. He built some awesome engines, and I can't thank him enough for not only what all he does for the engine wise, but just the help he does other than that, and just everybody that helps us getting up and down the road. It takes a lot, and can't thank everyone enough that helps me.
Absolutely. Well, you got a couple of congratulations here. Warren Harrison says awesome job, congratulations, and Flagman Chris Cottle says great race Saturday, Zach. So everybody enjoyed watching you. It was a great race, and appreciate you coming and hanging out with us tonight. And good luck this weekend. I'm sure you'll be racing this weekend, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Zach.
See ya.
All right, that was Zach Sise, winner of the Lake Cumberland North-South Border Wars feature on Saturday. It was a great race, but before we talk about the race itself, let's hear a quick word from our sponsors, PPM Racing Products and Renegade Racing Fuel, the official fuel of the American All-Star Series.
When you start with the strongest American steel, apply the smartest techniques, let artesian quality craftsmen do the work. What you end up with is just better than anything else you can get.
Racers that win pour it in, and we appreciate you.
Welcome back to Off the Dirt with Allie and Joe, presented by M&M Septic Services. It's a production of the American All-Star Series. And before we talk about Lake Cumberland, the race we had on Saturday, it was a great race. Before we talk about that, about Racetrack Connection again.
If you're not signed up, you need to get signed up, drivers and fans. 2 separate apps available on both the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store, of course. A great app. You can communicate back and forth with each other that are at the races. You go to the race, open the chat feature, talk to anybody else that's there and downloaded the app and using it. Check out the drivers, see who's there as well racing. Just a great app, great way to communicate and socialize with fellow like-minded race fans.
Yes, it is an awesome app to communicate through your fellow race fans and see what drivers are on the track if you're out of town or if there's drivers there that are from out of their town. And it's awesome to see the chat because it deletes after the night. So there's no more where you're trying to chat on the track's Facebook page and they try to delete your comments. If you're angry, they won't be able to do that. So it's going to be an awesome app once it gets going. They have a lot of users already. But if you're on here right now, go download Racetrack Connection either as a user or as a driver.
Absolutely. So it's going to, it's growing daily. Sherman's not here with our count yet. I'm sure that there are more drivers already signed up since the last time that he was on here with us, and it'll just keep growing. So fans, there's no reason not to use it. It's free, doesn't cost you a dime, and we'll talk about some of the features for the drivers when we get to segment 3.
Yes. But before we get to segment 3, let's talk about the Lake Cumberland race itself.
Yeah, Allie, it was a great night, 27 cars, and with the economy the way it is right now, can't really beat that. Really happy with that car count, with fuel prices and things how they are. And the 27 that were there, I mean, there was not a slouch in the field. It was some tough competition in the house this weekend.
For sure. We had a lot of cars there that were really fast around that place, and then you see how much the track slowed down. I thought that was super interesting. I was talking with the flagman from Lake Cumberland, and he was like, it's crazy how much it's slowed down since you all were here last. Because we were talking about the time that Brandon threw in qualifying, and we were like, that's nowhere near as fast as they were throwing, like Hayden was throwing when we were here first. And then you look at the times that they were running during the feature compared to their qualifying times. And so I'm sure that was different for the drivers, and I thought they handled it well and put on a great show for the fans there.
Yeah, I think slow tracks make for great racing. I know some people like heavy and hammer down, but I really think that, especially in the crate racing world, that a slow track it works. And it definitely worked on Saturday. One of the best races probably the best race we've had all year, and possibly even one of the best races in the history of the series, because not only was AJ a factor, but I mean the cars that changed. Yeah, exactly. That top 5 behind him battling for the lead, it changed and changed. Brandon was there for a long time. Skylar Marlar was there. Skylar could have wadded up the whole field. He got a really good start, drove it in really hard, and Zach was there, and he got off of it. I mean, on one of the restarts and drove a very clean race. But, I mean, Skylar could have really destroyed the field. But thankfully, he ran clean there, and it was a good he was another one that gave a shot for the win. When he drove in like that, Hayden told me after the race, he said, man, I thought I was going to get it. And he got up on the high side. And, he was going for the lead. His right rear on the spoiler there was pretty much gone.
Yeah,
the filler panel was gone there. So, it was it was fun. I mean, it was just a fun race. Tommy Bailey came out of nowhere. And just before we had the last caution, when Zach was catching that lap traffic, I saw AJ come off forward. I said, where did he come from? I think I told everybody in the tower, I said, look at AJ, he's coming. And, he had closed in, and they were there at the lap traffic. I think the caution probably gave AJ the best shot at it. AJ told me, he said, I hated to see we were single file because I knew we were within 5 laps to go. So, he knew that it was close to the end and he was running out of time. But They told me at the beginning of the night they'd finished third. They'd been there 3 times and finished third, so they bettered it with their touring race. So that's I'm sure they were happy with that.
Yeah, for sure. And you see drivers that you look at the race and we're up there in the tower and everybody's on their feet. We're not sitting down. We're on our feet to watch this race because it got so great. And we had 25. I remember it was 25 laps clean. They were in lap traffic. They were. I'll never forget. But the first time I ever saw a slide job happen in American All Star Series was Hayden Cardwell at I-75, and Corey Hedgecock when they were racing real hard for second and third. But then at Lake Cumberland, with how small of a track that Lake Cumberland is, the bull ring track it is, them to be throwing slide jobs on that kind of track when it was rubbered off, it was just awesome to watch. And then the lap traffic just made it so interesting for the leader to be able to hold those weave through those lap traffic cars and then put on a great show. We only had a few cautions through 50 laps.
Yeah, I went back and watched the replay. I don't always go back and rewatch our races, but I did on this one. And even as they came to the checkered, everybody was still battling from first to last through the field for position as they came to take the checkered. But, I was talking to Rocky after the race, and honestly, like I told Zach when we were interviewing him, I thought Rocky was on his top through the caution. I mean, it was a safety thing. And I realized Rocky was going to keep going. We probably could have stayed green there and not even had that caution, truth be told. But Rocky said, the leaders got there, and I was just focused on trying to stay out of the way. And while I was staying out of the way, I got the wall. So, but he told me he didn't tear anything up. I asked him after the night, and he said he didn't tear anything up. So Nikki
That's
says,
crazy.
hey, yes, it is, because he was at a 90-degree angle to the track. He was literally riding on the wall. So, and he tore down poles. Nikki says Hayden went through 3 breakaways and a spoiler side throughout the race. There's Sherman with us. Good. Sherman, what's our count at, buddy? I knew you'd be here and give us the count. So we'll talk about that when we get to segment 3 once you give us that number. But, it was just such a good race. And then we got going again, had a hard wreck for Gunnar Johnson. I want to give a shout out to Gunnar Johnson because Zach called him and was there to lap him, and he passed cars and had basically, before that caution on lap 25, he had put a straightaway back on the leaders. So, I mean, he had some speed. He found it late, got in started 23rd. So, just a phenomenal drive by Gunnar. I felt so bad. He got, it was a hard hit that Gunnar and Daniel Dial took up there in turn 1.
For sure. And then it was just awesome to see Gunnar be like, no, I'm not going to be that easy to pass. We're going to make this a race. And it was cool to see how long he held Zach off. And, also, I think we looked, and when the race was going on, I don't know what you were doing, but I know me and the announcer were looking, and Gunnar was turning some of the fastest laps in the race.
Yeah, so huge shout out to Gunnar, and I'd say at those laps he was faster than Zach because he was pulling away from him. So, huge shout out to him for a great run. I saw them at Buc-ee's, saw AJ Hicks' crew at Buc-ee's too. So everybody was at Buc-ee's after the race. I talked to them for a long time, and they're looking forward to our 4th of July weekend to come and race with us all weekend long, I think. But it was just such a fun race, good racing through the field, a lot of comers and goers. Todd Kaufman came from deep in the field to finish. I think he was 6th at the end. So, it just so much passing that went on. Tommy Bailey, Tommy, I think, is a former super racer that has just really kind of started dabbling in the crate world. So pretty new to that as well. And, Chris, that's right. Chris was there whistling at me when we pulled into Buc-ee's. So, it was just a great race, and Zach drove the wheels off of it, and well-deserved win, $5,000 richer. Just a phenomenal racing weekend, Allie.
For sure. And, we have a lot more races coming up, and then also we have more 10,000s in the schedule. Our 10,000s are coming up. So it's going to be a awesome season and is going to put on even more great shows this year.
Yes, the season's just getting fired up. It's getting to the fun part of the season. A lot of big money on the line coming up. Whether it be a single race or big money weekend like we've got coming up the 4th of July weekend. Not one day of racing, but 3 days of racing and good payouts through the whole weekend. So makes it easier on the guys, loaded up, traveling. Everybody can race 2 or 3 times within 3 hours of each other or so, 3.5 hours. So can't really beat that. We'll put our marketing personality on that, Tara. See if she can't get us hooked up with some Bucky's barbecue.
My mom would be at every race if we had Bucky's. She loves Bucky's. Did you get any beaver nuggets?
Yes. Jesse got some, and I tried them for the first time.
They're really good.
They're really good.
Yeah.
Oh, Sherman says Gunner built a great profile on the app. That's awesome.
That's awesome. That's cool. Well, before we talk about Racetrack Connection and the count that Sherman commented, let's take a quick break and we're going to talk about one of the races on the All-American weekend. Not this weekend, but next weekend. But let's take a quick break. Let's hear from PPM Racing Products and the official fuel of the American All-Star Series, Renegade Racing Fuel.
When you start with the strongest American steel, apply the smartest techniques. Let artesian quality craftsmen do the work. What you end up with is just built better than anything else you can get.
Racers that win, pour it in, and we appreciate you.
Welcome back to Off the Dirt with Allie and Joe, presented by Eminent Septic Services. This is a production of the American All-Star Series, and we just talked about the race that we had last weekend at Lake Cumberland Speedway. A great show, one of the best in American All-Star Series history, and it was awesome to watch. But let's talk about Racetrack. How many users is Sherman's up to?
695. I think it was
over 100 more than last week.
Well, I thought it was at 620 last week, so it's a huge 580. Okay, huge growth nonetheless. Great job on the app, Sherman. I hope we're helping. Sherman, I put Beckley in there. We got to talk about Beckley a little bit in this segment, actually. So Sherman just got Beckley uploaded, and he told me they're doing Beckley's doing kids bike races this week. He said he put kids bike races, Power Wheel races in for the kids.
Awesome.
So we'll have to get them using it here at Beckley this weekend, and we've got some racing coming up at Beckley as well. So, but before we talk about the race at Beckley for the All-American Bash, the inaugural All-American Bash weekend, I'm excited about that. Really love the 4th of July. It may be my favorite holiday of the year, racing and fireworks, and I just love the 4th of July. I love the American patriotism. That's what I'm looking for. Mm-hmm. So, but the app that Sherman has developed, one thing we haven't talked about yet is what can the racers do other than chat and with their fans and things? Well, they can build a profile, obviously. They can put a resume in. And you know what they can do with that resume? They can go out and search for sponsors. So it's just such a great app with such great features. And, I think it's something that people need to get involved with.
Yeah, Racetrack Connection is awesome for drivers. They can buy and sell their side business, and they can also ask for sponsors. You can put a tab in there saying, I'm looking for sponsors. And if you're at a track and you check in at that track, and there so happen that there's a sponsor in the crowd that's looking to sponsor one of the drivers and they like you and they see your profile, they could hit you up and give you a sponsor.
Yeah, and talk about their side business. Bob has #Uero, and that's actually picking on you, Allie. I don't know if you realize that yet or not, but he says that you cut the "it" off in the sponsor video.
Oh. I didn't
so he's calling himself #Uero now, but nonetheless, on Racetrack Connection, Bob can go on there and sell his Ooh Arrow spoilers.
Yes, he can. Well, anyways,
All right.
let's talk about our first stop on the All-American Bash tour is Beckley Motor Speedway. Beckley.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's wrap up a couple things. We got people talking about Buc-ee's. So let's wrap the Buc-ee's conversation up here real quick. Cherry smoked jerkies, what Rusty Webb says he likes. Everybody loves Buc-ee's.
Everybody loves Buc-ee's. You can't hate Buc-ee's.
There's all sorts of things that can be done. Support and sponsor ad, phone numbers, website links, email addresses can all be input and accessed in the chat function. That's awesome. Awesome. So, Racetrack Connection, you need to download it. You need to get involved, and everybody needs to get set up there. And Sherman loves Buc-ee's too. So, All-American Bash Weekend, inaugural All-American Bash Weekend, and it kicks off at the new Beckley Motor Speedway under Randy Kinder, who we've had on as a guest earlier this season.
Mm-hmm. $2,500 to win at the new Beckley Motor Speedway. It is under new management, under new ownership, and under practically new staff, from what I've heard from you guys. Decently new staff.
It's, new tech man locally. Of course, for the tour, Ronnie will be here. But a lot of good things going on at Beckley Motor Speedway. The surface has been great. Last time I was here, racing had wrapped up at 11:22. The whole night of racing had wrapped up at 11:22. Can't really beat that. And a huge fireworks show. Denny Williams, my good buddy from Integrity Motorsports, is going to do a huge fireworks show that night. So, like I said, American weekend. I love it. Love them All-American Bash, and I'm excited for 4th of July racing.
My favorite part about the 4th of July weekend is the 4 wides we put on, because it's always just an awesome 4 wide. To have some fireworks along with a 4 wide salute, you can't beat it.
Yeah, and Jeffrey Wolford is looking for Beckley Motor Speedway and the Racetrack Connection driver app. Sherman, Jeffrey, meet each other, at each other. You all can help each other get meet and get set up there. So figure out what that issue is. But the racing at Beckley's home for me, Allie, so it's always going to be special, but I can't wait to get up here. I think there's some drivers actually coming to run the weekly AAS race this week. It's double points. I think Jordan Hedger's planning to be here, Stephen Badula, to get tuned up for the 2,500 to win race. And then not only that, but this 2,500 to win race is a great tune-up. Later in the year, we're here for 10,000, and then we're here for 5,000. So this is a good race. Come get some laps on the track, fill it out. Though, it's changed a little bit, that's for sure, from the way it was before when it was not Beckley Motor Speedway, when it had a different name. This is just a good tune-up race for the, we're going to be in the weekend area that way for the 4th of July weekend anyway. So just a little extra money, short race, and it should be a great one.
Yeah, and if you're going to hit Beckley, then you need to hit our other 2 nights of the All-American Bash. But we're not going to talk about the 2 nights. We're going to talk about those next week, considering next week is the week of the All-American Bash.
Yeah, that's for sure. Camp spots, I'm sure Randy wants me to tell everybody. A lot of our guys have big toters and stuff. Full camping hookups, only $50. So definitely would save some money for those coming this way next Friday. Can get hooked up with a camping spot, $50, have full electric, water, everything you need. Can't beat that. It should be in West Virginia. That's correct, Sherman. So I'm not sure what the issue is there, but it is in West Virginia. Yes. So you got that right, Sherman. Good job. It's a track where Hayden's good on new tracks. Hayden could come and win. The Sises run good here. Terry Poor runs good at tracks like this as well. But
let's talk about some of the weekly guys you guys have up there.
That's what I was going to say. There's a strong field of local cars here as well at Beckley, such as Aaron Barley, just moved back from modified class. Aaron, the Barley name is synonymous, I think that's the word I'm looking for, with Beckley's racetrack, and he's won 2 of the 3 crate races already this year. So he'll be tough. TJ Salango, Henry Hornsby, who's run several touring races with us already this year. Eddie Hambrick should be ready by then. He's getting his motor rebuilt by our buddy Shane Bells at Pro Built Motors down there in Sevierville, one of our engine builders, certified engine builder. Shane's a great guy. Patrick Solari's tough here. Shane Greco's actually got a 2-car operation now, Allie, and Tyler Cox is driving the second car. So I'll tell you, and then when you come here, we'll probably see some of the Kentucky guys. I know AJ Hicks is planning to be here. Ronnie Martin's planning to come. So you get some of the Kentucky, some of the Natural Bridge cars mixed in, as well as, every once in a while you'll have somebody sneak down from Pennsylvania or Maryland to run with the All-Stars when we come to West Virginia.
Definitely going to be a great night of racing and definitely going to be a great weekend of racing. And Beckley's just the start of it, so make sure you're following the tour this next 4th of July weekend. So it's going to be awesome. Who are you talking to?
Randy's looking at me. I don't know what he's saying. I'm talking about Beckley. Maybe he hears me talking about Beckley. So, but he's over there working hard, doing racetrack thing while I'm working hard on the podcast. So, I'm excited. 4th of July weekend. I love it, Allie. My favorite time of the year. Fireworks and race cars and warm weather. You can't beat it.
Nope. And that is the first night of the All-American Bash, Beckley Motor Speedway for $2,500 to win. And we'll talk about the next 2 next weekend. And hopefully we'll have a few special guests along with the All-American Bash.
And you know what, Alec? Let's just go ahead and throw up. It's going to be a $500 bonus for the best average finisher over the 3-day weekend. I'll go ahead and throw that up. Maybe we can get a couple sponsors and add to it and make it a real nice All-American Bash prize.
Yes, for sure. But before we go into our last segment of the night, our blooper segment, let's look at a video of all of our sponsors of the American All-Star Series, because none of this would be possible without them.
Including Uero.
#Uero. Welcome back to Off the Dirt with Allie and Joe, presented by M&M Safety Services. We've had a pretty good show so far. A lot to talk about Lake Cumberland with a great race we put on Saturday. But it's been a pretty good show, Joe.
Yeah, a lot of fun tonight. Getting excited for the 4th of July weekend. Had a great race. That's got me hyped up anyways. Anytime we come off a really good race like we had this past weekend, I'm all hyped up and ready to rock and roll. So a couple things here. There's Bobo. Bobo did not win $1,000 on Saturday, but your brother did.
Jesse did.
Puddin did win $1,000. So from Bo, actually Bo's family sponsored it, so Jesse took Bo's money. A couple things here. We'll catch up on the comments. Sherman says that he's left the chat up and active from Mount Lawn Speedway in Indiana, 618. They're learning how to use the app there, so check it out. Wolford's signed up now and ready to rock and roll. Really enjoying using the app.
App is gaining users and support. The chat function is going to make the app fun and for fans and drivers. Hope everybody uses it. Me too.
And then Sherman's, we missed you there, buddy, but we hope to see you soon. Hopefully this next weekend, 4th of July weekend. Would love to see you. And Bo's just here for the bloopers. Bo, you are a blooper. All by yourself.
Your mom put up $1,000 and you didn't win it.
Yeah, you didn't take it home. There we go. Big buddy Bo. I like it. Big buddy Bo. So his mom put up $250 this week for the mini wedges at Beckley. So he can't take that money, though, because he's too old to run with the mini wedges.
Dang.
Ricky could bring.
Hopefully Brady wins that.
Ricky could bring the kid up, and Ricky could, take home that $250.
Mini wedge.
Sherman's going to go on our chats. Oh, here's our buddy Rocky, M&M Septic Services. Great race at Lake Cumberland, even been on 2 wheels for a brief moment. Rocky said he plans to run the whole 4th of July weekend with us, so I really enjoy when Rocky comes out and runs with us. I'll tell you, Rocky ran really good at Wartburg last year, and Beckley is a lot like Wartburg, shape, size. So I expect Rocky to have a good run when he comes to Beckley next weekend.
Rocky, you pulled a Herbie on Saturday.
That's right. That was a Herbie. So that's kind of a blooper in itself. But what makes it even better is nothing was damaged.
You didn't tear anything up. So I'm serious. It was like Herbie.
Yes. Brady's going after the $250. So, you put Brady out there chasing $250, he might flip somebody to go get that money. Allie. I wouldn't put it past him. You're really good at racing go-karts and wrecking people, so you could go for it.
I didn't wreck nobody.
Rocky says,
show.
No show. So,
but we don't
appreciate
have any bloopers from the weekend.
No, it was a really smooth weekend. I was just going to say M&M Septic Service we really appreciate them. Rocky really helped us get the podcast off the ground. Title sponsoring the podcast. Really appreciate that. Brady's going to take Bo's mama's money. So big money Bo. We ought to put Bo out on the front stretch for the picture for the trophy presentation of that race.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to have bike races at Beckley this weekend too. Randy's been talking about me and him racing each other. I don't know about all that. That would be a blooper. I haven't rode a bike in probably 15 years, so that could really be a blooper.
Yeah, we can turn Bo into a trophy girl.
Yes. Watch out, Nikki. If you're still with us, Bo's coming.
But we don't have any bloopers from the weekend. The only thing that I can think of is the transponders or the loop wasn't working very well.
Just in hot laps.
In qualifying.
Yeah, qualifying it was fine.
Worked.
Yeah.
It was hot laps.
So here's a blooper in itself.
I understand that.
Here's a blooper in itself, Allie.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Joe's doing. Yeah, that was a
blooper.
We were like, somebody's picking up. We were like, it's Chris.
Chris brought transponders to the tower. That never works out, but that helped. I feel bad for our friends at Lake Cumberland. We didn't mess them up though. We got it figured out and got everything taken care of. So
that was funny.
Bo says there's no bloopers because he wasn't there. I could agree with that. Blooper free without
Bo. Did an amazing job this weekend. They had a different rule for how we pull cars on and off the track and into the infield and stuff. So it was different for Rick because we did it different than we normally do there. So it was kind of Rick did a great job and so did Chris.
Nikki says that he can have it. She'll stick to the kids. So, Nikki, you brought some kids to see me, and Terry Poor was telling me a story. I apologize. I'm not sure if you were there to see me or Terry, but I hate that I didn't get a chat with those kids. So I forget what. I don't even remember what Terry was telling me, but he was up there telling me something. Oh, that's right.
5
Rick
minutes.
says thanks. And Rusty and Bo have really made friends this year. You know, they've hit it off. Bo's first on the story and Terry got some good picks with the kids. And then he was talking to me, and I didn't get any picks with the kids. So I'm sorry, kids, missed out. And I don't remember. I think we were talking about the tent maybe when Terry was there.
Yeah. Yeah, that made me that scared the crap out of me when he blew. I didn't know it was an actual air horn. I thought it was like one of those aerosol bottles. No, it's an actual air horn. And he was right next to the trailer and blew that sucker, and I almost lost it.
Yeah, Terry always makes, Ronnie and I, the two of, really expect me to be dealing with this, but Ronnie and I were putting gas in the generator, and I was doing a phenomenal job with that, by the way. And I only spilt a little bit, not nearly as much as Bo spills, but he started blowing that, and I just said, that's Terry. I knew when Terry pulled in next to us to start the night that it was going to be a fun night because I knew the air horn would come out at some point.
He
blew
it, and he goes, "Congratulations, Zach Sise." It was fun.
Terry made the post-race interviews hilarious. So, we picked up 2 new users already tonight. Need to get Brady on there, Tara. You need to get Brady signed up, get him ready, registered for the mini wedge race, and so he can get on there and chat with his adoring fans after he goes for that money this weekend. So, Bo says we need to show Terry some snap bangers. Terry Bo hit Allie with a snap banger.
Yes.
She about quit.
Yep.
2 feet high off the ground, Terry says. What's Terry got to say? Terry's horn made her jump a mile high. He keeps that up. I'm going to have to Photoshop rainbows and unicorns and glitter on the car. So, hey, Terry's would probably look good with rainbows, unicorns, and glitter. I'm sure he would have some fun with that, Tara.
He probably would, to be honest.
He's one that you could do that with. Ricky says that Big Buddy Bo spilled at least $10 worth of with. I'm just going to start taking it out of his pay on race nights, Ricky, when he spills it, because he one time he ran it over in a truck. He was pumping gas in the truck while I was inside getting stuff, and I come back out with his icy, and he spilled gas all over the parking lot. Thanks, Sherman. And Tara's going to get Brady set up and ready to go.
Maybe close to the line, Joe?
I'd say that him hitting her with the snap banger was probably close to the line. She was not very happy with him. So Bo says that stupid can. There's Kobe Gallion, one of the drivers going for the AAS Weekly Championship. Kobe's got his first crate race win earlier this year. Hopefully we're going to have Kobe on. Allie, if you've got to interview Kobe at the track, and maybe if you do it with the small mic first, then we'll get him till he's comfortable to come on here with us.
Yep.
Ricky says we got to get that boy a funnel. That'll come out of his check too if I have to buy him a funnel. And Bo says, "Hey, Puddin." I don't know if Puddin's even here. I don't know why he said hey to Puddin. So apparently, let me tell you about this. Somebody had stuck Puddin a piece of tape and put Puddin on it on Jesse's car this weekend.
That's funny.
So he found it before he went out to Hot Lap, but they had him ready to go out for Hot Laps with it on and everything. So
that's awesome. Jesse's here.
Ricky says heavy pockets Puddin. Ricky's got the jokes tonight. So heavy pockets. He is heavy pockets.
Big
after
Money
winning
Bo
that.
and Heavy Pockets Puddin.
That's right. We're going to have to remember that.
Yeah.
Big Money Bo and Heavy Pockets Puddin. That's going to be their new names on the road. Puddin with his $1,000. He didn't even offer to take me to dinner tonight. I saw him earlier, won that $1,000. He didn't even offer to take me to dinner.
Because you are a sponsor. You're supposed to give him money and take him to dinner.
That's true. I do sponsor him. So he said that and it does. The winner's picture, if you go look at it, has the American All-Star Series logo real big. He got a good angle for it. So, definitely getting my money's worth out of old Puddin in Victory Lane there. So, Tara has a vinyl cutter. She can really make Puddin a good name.
Rick says he doesn't have any trouble putting gas in the generator.
That's right. Well, we can count on Rick. Rick got the 4-wheeler running right again, too.
Yeah.
Bo says had to buy car tires and pay them bills. That's right. Puddin has a blooper of his own. His personal vehicle, he heard something flapping underneath it, and like a row of the rubber had come off his tires on his personal vehicle because he puts all his money in his race car. On his Supersonic, yeah. So, and he's still not fixed that yet. So he's been driving it. He's driven another 150 miles since that happened. So, good job.
Good job.
Drivers chatting with the fans on the app makes it great. You're right. That's right. We need Bo and Puddin and everybody to do that. Little Brady Lilly, Jeff Wolford, all of you that are here need to do that. And look at that.
Wow.
You better screenshot that. That's worth $1,000 right there. You better screenshot that because you'll never see it again.
No.
So, but fun show tonight.
My name right.
He really is friends with you right now. Like, he is on your side right now, Allie.
Wow. Congratulations, Puddin.
Bo's not on your side.
Wow.
Getting more people. Steve Emmons and Alan Smith signing up. Excellent. Good. That's what we like to hear. So, all right, Allie. Next week, we'll try to get some people on, maybe from the Beckley area, from the Willard area, and get ready for our All-American Bash. I got to give Tara credit. I was going to call it Freedom Weekend, but Tara said, let's do All-American Bash, and then Willard liked it, and I didn't really even ask Randy. I just kind of put the flyer out and just did it. So, I really like All-American Bash, so I think it sounds good. Yes, Rusty, I will get you directions so you can miss the poll.
Look, somebody else is on my side for once. Thanks, Sherman. Appreciate it.
So I will post the poll thing, Allie. I will post directions for everybody to miss the poll. If you come in from the south, if you come in from the north, you could drive a few extra miles, or you could just go find a place to turn around and come back. That might be the easiest way for those coming in from the north. But if you're coming in from the south, I'll get directions on how to miss the pole as you come into Beckley. You still have to come by the pole, but you're at least turning in the pole. You're turning to the right, and the pole will be over on the right side. You're turning to the left, and the pole will be to the right side of where you're turning. So that'll make it easier for you as you turn in, I do believe. Yes, we will help you with the pole.
But join us next week for some special guests with the All-American Bash on the 4th of July weekend on Monday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
America.
But for now, Joe, if you don't have anything else. Nothing.
That's it.
Okay. That's the dirt for Allie. That's the dirt for Off the Dirt with Allie and Joe. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.